Hello, I'm Steve Thompson. I'm the Chief Value Strategist here at Ecosystems. And in this session, I'd like to talk to you about what is changing because of COVID-19 and what are the implications to us in our business. On the customer side today, they are looking at their priorities. They're changing their priorities. And as a consequence, they're changing their budgets. And there's going to be a budget cutoff line. And we're either going to be above that line or below that line, depending on whether the customer sees that we are bringing them value. Now, they're going to ask questions which I believe are the same ones your company's asking right now. What are the new priorities? What is it going to take to achieve them? What suppliers align with those particular priorities? And then, of course, what I call the killer question is, we've spent so much money with XYZ supplier. What have we gotten for that money? And when the question on that is not clear, suddenly your business with that particular customer is at risk. And yet we've got to put this in the context of COVID-19, which means we have to operate in a stay-at-home world. We're only going to be able to virtually interact with customers. And in doing so, we've got to ensure that our communications with them are concise. They're not going to go through a 60-slide deck. There maybe will last for 6 slides. Our communications have to be clear and simple so that not only can we convey them and they understand them, but they're going to be able to use those communications when we're not in the room. And finally, we want to be able to collaborate with the customer and also allow them to collaborate when we aren't there. And this is a critical part right now. The first order problem that we face is our communications with our mobilizers, champions, whoever it is we deal with. But the larger issue is the conversations they're having when we are not in the room. They have to collaborate with multiple stakeholders and further up in the organization. Are we giving them the right information so that they can have the right conversations and make a straightforward decision? Now, before COVID-19, 43% of official buying initiatives ended up in no decision or no award. And that's when we had access to customers and we could meet with them. Today, I suspect that 43% number is much higher. We want to ensure that we're arming our team with the right information and guiding the right conversations when we're not in the room. And the good news is this can be done. In fact, it's being done today. And what I'd like to show you is on the Ecosystems platform, how we're helping customers resolve those issues, conduct and collaborate the conversations internally so that they can make an informed decision. What you're looking at right now is the Ecosystem platform. This platform is available 24/7, not just to our clients, but their customers are on it. In fact, 40% of the usage is customers going onto the platform, getting information, showing their management the value they're delivering. There's 4 basic parts to it. This is where we're answering the big why. These are the key initiatives that we currently are supporting with this client. In the upper right, this partnership roadmap answers the question of how are we going to get there? We have various tasks or work streams, if you will, that we're tracking. And on any given work stream, we can drill down on what are the specifics of that work stream. Now let's move to the lower left quadrant. This answers basically the success metrics, what are the targets we're aiming at and how are we performing on them. This is shared data and it's a unified view of our performance. And then finally, this is where we talk about changes in innovation. In this quadrant, we want to look over the horizon. If things are changing on the customer side and they may have an impact on the work we're doing, we need to track it, we need to manage it. So as a quick summary, the questions that are being asked by your customer are, we're spending a lot of money with particular supplier, what are we getting for it? And with the Ecosystems platform, we very clearly answer that question. We start off with, are we aiming at the right strategic initiatives? These are the outcomes in the upper left quadrant. How are we going to get there specifically? And then in the lower left quadrant, what is our progress to date? Where are we in hitting the success metrics that we put in place? And then finally in the lower right-hand quadrant, which is looking into the future, what's changing, what innovations are out there that we need to both be looking at so that we can ensure we can capitalize on them. This platform is designed so that we have the right conversation with our champions, internal stakeholders, but because it exists in a digital format and the customers access it, what we're finding is this is the platform they're using internally to justify continuing doing business with you. Being able to demonstrate the value that you're delivering to a customer is not a nice to have, it's a must have, because it's going to determine, are we above that cut line or below that cut line? We've got to find a way to do this in a virtual environment, and we've got to be able to do it collaboratively. And finally, we've got to solve not just for the first order conversation, which is the one we have with customers, we need to solve for the second order conversation, which by the way is much lengthier, and it's when we're not in the room. And we're going to do that digitally with the ecosystems platform.